Hello, Checkmate here, and welcome to episode 3 of our Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. This is episode 3, and a few things we want to try to get done in this episode. A couple of housekeeping items that we'll go over in just a minute. But I also want to look at upgrading that tracking station. We want to try to get some orbits in. We want to try to put some Kerbals in orbit. And having that tracking station, I believe, will help us open up the setting the waypoints on the orbit. So we want to look at that. As I said, we want to try to get a Kerbal into orbit this episode, and when they do that, I want it to be a full science run. So I'm going to try to have 2 science juniors on the ship. Also going to look at that heat shield contract. I think we could probably knock that one out. And also, we have not planted a flag on Kerbin yet, so we need to address that as well. So let's get started. Go into our game here. And to start with, something that's been bugging me as I was re-watching the video to do the editing. I misspelled terrestrial, and that just bugged me, so let's fix that. It is Terrestrial. I know that's frivolous, petty, whatever, but it bothered me. And then the other thing, in last episode, let's look at, it's currently year 1, day 1, hour 5, minute 8. We forgot to update the spreadsheet on the last episode. Where is it? Because we put a probe in orbit around Kerbin. So we need to just document that time. So that was year 1, day 1, hour 5. Took us 5 hours to get that done. And minute 8. But we got it done, so this episode we'll be able to get the fly Kerbal high on Kerbin. So we're going to put a Kerbin above 18 kilometers into the atmosphere. And of course the goal is also let's fly a Kerbal in orbit around Kerbin. So let's go back and get started on that. Now, I mentioned the tracking station. We got a little bit of money now because we got some bonuses on that last run. So let's see, it's going to cost us 150. But that patched conics visible on map is what I'm looking for. It's expensive. We'll still have about 120 left though, so let's go ahead and do it. And now let's look at putting a Kerbin in orbit. I want to see something else too. We have 33 science. I don't think that's enough to unlock. Well, maybe. They're in separate groups. I'd like to have these boosters here, but I really need these decouplers to go with those boosters. That's 20, 38 science. We have 33. So as always, we're coming up about 5 science short. Let's think about this. Maybe we can grab some I'd really like to have those nose cones. Let's look at our contract, because didn't I grab the heat shield, test heat shield, landed at Kerbin? That would give us 1 science. Hall heat shield, now that's a different heat shield, that's the bigger one, the 2.5 meter. I'm going to grab that one. This is wanting me to deorbit. I don't know if I can deorbit the one that's up there now. We didn't have much fuel left. But we will be deorbiting. I mean, we'll be doing this with our Kerbal when our Kerbal goes up. So maybe we can do this one, because that would give me 3 science plus that's 4 science. I'll still be 1 stinking science short. Let's look and see if we can deorbit this thing. It's probably this one, right? See, now we have this. It shows me my apoapsis and periapsis. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's gonna count if I deorbit this one. Oh, I have no fuel, so this one's not gonna deorbit. So that's irrelevant. So it will just have to be a Kerbin or a Kerbal. Alright, let's build them a ship to get into space then. We're going to need a heat shield. And we want a decoupler, because we want to be able to come back with just a capsule. And that one parachute will be sufficient for that capsule. And we need an engine. So that's 14. If I drop a couple more tanks on here. It's 18. We could use the same ship that we had the probe go up on, but it was so wobbly. I really don't want to risk putting a Kerbin on, or putting a Kerbal on that. Let's look at it. That was the, which one was it? I think these are the same. Uncrewed probe orbiter. It's this one, and we can make some changes to this. Got that decoupler, second stage, and that decoupler with the third stage. And what we can do, we can take this off. I think, actually, let me do that. Change that to the root part. I'll take this off, get a heat shield on there, and a decoupler. What's that gonna do? Parachute. That's just not enough, because it's so much heavier. Well, no, we had this on there. How is this less delta V? We took parts off and the delta V went down. Oh, somehow it updated. makes more sense. I don't know. Having this on this same stage seems to... Well, that had it messed up for some reason. I guess it must have updated. So anyway, that says we have 4184. That should be enough. Jebediah, we're going to be putting him at risk here. And we don't have any science on this one. Maybe we'll grab... I want to make sure we get that extra 5. So let's just put a thermometer. Well, we could do an EVA and crew report. So we'll be able to get some science on this run. So let's save this one as crude. This will be our crude probe. Well, it's not probe, it's a crude orbiter. Alright, let's save that. And I wonder what time it is. I don't know if it's make sure we're at daytime when we do this. Alright, fingers crossed that we don't lose our Kerbal on this attempt. I think worst case we can just separate everything out and parachute him back down, so I don't expect him to die. But let's find out. 3, 2, 1, blast off. I don't have the reaction wheels on this one, so it's being a little difficult to steer for me. There we go, it's a little better now that we got some gimbaling. Let's get this thing on over. Need to try to be closer to 45. Benchmark is around 10,000 meters. You want to be around 45 degrees, so we're a bit off of that already. Okay, let's see what we can just hold right here for a few minutes. Our apoapsis is already 48 kilometers. That's good. 75 again. We'll cut the engines. I don't know if this second stage will get us all the way up there. Ah, man, that's perfect actually. It got us into space. I don't know if we'll stay here. Let's go ahead and burn just a little bit more. Alright, we'll cut it right there. Alright. So that's good. He's in space. I should have been doing crew report coming up through the atmosphere, but I was kind of preoccupied. And I forgot to upgrade the complex. So we should still get enough science with those 2 contracts. We should still get, because we had a couple of science we was going to get off of those. What I want to do, oh, I can't add markers yet. I can at least see my time to apoapsis now, so that's a plus. Because what I want to do it right about now. I'm going to go ahead and burn. I want to try to keep this from getting away from me. Alright, it's starting to push out, so I'm going to throttle down now. I want it to keep coming into me a little bit. But we don't want to pass it. Throttle down here. See if we can get closer. Because the closer I am to this, the less it affects my apoapsis. And it mostly affects the periapsis. I'm going to start throttling back up here a little bit just to keep it out in front of me. Make sure we're staying on her horizontal alignment here. I'm going to have to give it a little more throttle. Oh, it got on top of me. Whew, barely saved it. Alright, let's drop this back down. Actually, I'm going to cut it, get a little closer. I could go ahead and get orbit here, but I'm just trying to practice getting nice, clean orbits. Because in the future, when we start putting science stations out, we've got to be a little more accurate. It's going to be easier if we have circular orbits. We're going to have to be able to put them right where we want them. So, just trying to get a little practice in every chance I get. Yeah, that tracking station upgrade. We need the next level even. Because I can't warp to any points. I can't put any markers on here. Alright, let's just go ahead and get it. Alright, we're at 78 by 80. So I can time warp to my apo and do a little more burning. Be nice if we could get them both about 80 by 80. I need to fix this alignment. Make sure we're burning prograde. I'm going to get right up on top of it and burn some more. Adjust my... Alright, let's burn a little more here. Just watching this. Something. See, I passed it. So what I could do is I could burn retrograde right here and bring that apo back down. I guess I got a little too close to it. We're just going to slightly bring it back in. We're 70. That's pretty good. Pretty close. It's almost... It's 81.3 by 79.9. Call it by 80. We could dial that in a little more exact, but I think that gives us the basic idea there. Okay, so we are in orbit. And I'm just going to go here to mark the time to update our spreadsheet. On year 1, day 1, hour 5 and 22 minutes, we achieved Kerbal orbit. Now, we've got to bring them home safely before it counts. So let's do that now. I can't do the EVAs. I still have to, what is it, the astronaut complex. We'll look at that. I don't know if I'm going to have the funds for it right now, but we'll look at doing that. Because if we could do EVAs, that's going to open up, just that much more science. Now we accomplished this. Didn't I put a... I didn't even put a... Man, I think I meant to put a temperature probe on here, but I forgot. Because that would have been an easy little science grab we could have got. Oh well, so I was just looking, we have 600 delta V left. Probably could have lifted a Science Junior up here with this. But I don't know, I wanted to test this concept first. I do want to do another orbit with a full science run, but you know, we discovered on this launch that really needed that reaction wheel because I could barely steer on that first stage. It wasn't until we separated and got the gimbaling off of this engine that I could really start to steer. So we learned something at least. Now to get out of orbit, we want to set ourselves to retrograde here. Oh look, did he level up? Oh nice. So we can now just select this button and it will automatically put us to retrograde or prograde. And as he levels up, it'll unlock even more. And what we're really wanting, I think it's probably level 5. There's going to be a marker here that it's a maneuver marker. So we can just click. So if we go in and set a maneuver, say we plot a course to the moon or something, and we've got to do a very complex burn, we can click on that maneuver and it will align itself to whatever the complex maneuver. It'll do all the work for us. So really nice to have on the more complex burns. But let's look at where we're at. We want to get out of here. I'd like to just land in the water. But we're going to be coming down on the night side, it looks like. So why don't we time warp a little. See if we can come down in the daytime and see if we can figure out where the water is going to be. Because Kerbin is moving under us. It's rotating as we're orbiting. So where water's at now, water may not be there. Okay, maybe we can grab something here. We'll shoot for this area. Or here even. Yeah, let's shoot for here. So we're set up to retrograde. I'm just going to start burning now. And you see that periapsis is going to start coming down. So it's drawing down. It's going to hit the surface here in just a minute. Throttle up a little more. And I overcooked it. So we'll go to prograde. Guess I saw a squirrel and got distracted or something. So we can fix that. And I'm gonna shoot for right in here, so that's definitely gonna land on the planet. I don't think we're gonna make this water, but I can't tell. I can't click on this to see where it's gonna come down at. We may end up coming down right on land. Either way, it doesn't matter. We'll be fine either way. We have a negative periapsis, so we're gonna re-enter the atmosphere. So we want to be retrograde, and let's time warp a little bit. They're not going to let us do much. We got to separate this section. I'd like to get this section. When I separate, I'd like to get the debris to go into the atmosphere, because it really doesn't take long and you start getting a lot of debris in space. Before you know it, you'll have 20 or 30 of these things floating around. Yeah, you can terminate them and make them go away, but I don't know, it just seems better if you can take care of it now. So I'm going to turn kind of 90 degrees to my trajectory, separate, and then here we go. We're in the atmosphere now. We got that crew report from space, so we can't really do anything else. So I'm going to time warp just a little bit. This heat shield will start once it hits the atmosphere. Usually once I hit the atmosphere, I will turn this SAS off. Coming around on the day side, we're starting to take some heat damage now, so what I'm going to do, if I turn this off, the shape of this will just naturally go in sort of heat shield first. So we're just going to let physics land us on this one. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So let's notice our G-force limit on here. He will actually pass out if we stay in the red for too long because we have Kerbal G-force limits turned on. So I think once we hit about middle ways here, that G-force will start going up. Oh, do I need to test this? What is that contract requirement? After we've landed, we need to test the heat shield. Okay. Make sure I didn't screw that up. Well, we didn't get too much of a G-force on that re-entry. We weren't going very fast either. So set this to land because we're coming down in the mountains. Oh, great. That is not what I wanted to do. Let's turn off this physics until that parachute deploys. I don't need no Kraken to mess up game for me. I don't know. I need to find out. So we're set over land here, but your other option is to be over water. Now you see we're still above 1,000 over water, but we're below it on land. Does this parachute go off of the sea level number, or does it go off of whatever I have selected? That's what I need to figure out. Because I have it set to deploy at 1,000 feet, but where is it reading that 1,000 feet from? Is it reading it from what I have selected, or is it reading it from some internal game mechanic? Anyway, this looks like a decent landing spot. I think we got lucky. Another few seconds we'd have been in that mountain right there, and then it would just roll down and it could destroy the capsule. Alright, we've touched down. We need to run our test. Oh, I guess it automatically did it. Because they're both finished, to perform the heat test, use the run test option in the parts context menu when all test conditions are met. But I don't have a run test option here. What does it say? The contract is complete. That was for Explorer Kerbin. That was coming out of the orbit. No, we still don't have the... I don't want to jettison it. How do I test this? Oh, I've got the wrong heat shield. Dang it. I've got the 1.25. The devil is in the details, people. Okay. Let's recover. We didn't get it. But we did get some science, so that's fine. We're up to 204,000. The next level is going to be, 563. Man, we won't be upgrading that for a little while. The astronaut complex is 75. I may go ahead and do that one and unlock these EVAs. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's check our contracts, see if there's anything else. That's the active. There's a temperature in flight. See, these you got to be a very specific place. You got to be over this waypoint. We need to perform a spacewalk, so we can do that. We just unlocked the EVA, so we can now do the spacewalk. We have to do that other heat shield test. So let's fix this. Let's do a couple of modifications to our crude orbiter here. First of all, we need to get the correct heat shield on this thing. I think it's safe to do this. It's not a very big heat shield. Max temperature is 1200. This max temperature is 3300. So is this one. I wonder if we can put another heat shield over the top of this one. Yeah. So what we're going to do, I just don't trust that small one to keep the Kerbal safe. So we're going to have this one to get us back home, and then we'll eject this one while we're in the air, so we can test the other one when we're on the ground. So we'll do that. And then I wanted to look, is there a good spot we can put a reaction wheel? I was thinking like right. Can we put one here? Is that gonna mess me up? Is that gonna break off right here? Whoa. Why is that way up there? Alright, let's see if we can fix that. Brings it down a little bit. I mean, it worked fine last time, but I didn't notice that that lift was so high up. And how many parts? We're at 31, so we're over our parts limit. We're going to have to just go with it. When this stage separates, it corrects itself pretty good. So we just have this one, and actually it'll be like that. We're going to try this reaction wheel being down here. I don't have any strut or anything, which I'm at 29 of 30 parts anyway, so. Alright, let's save this. Let's go back up. We have the EVA now, and we have the correct heat shield now to do our contract. So we had the heat shield contract, and we had the EVA contract. So it's just getting to be nighttime. Hopefully it's not too dark for you to see it. But let's go for launch. 3, 2, 1, go. And what's good about it is now I can lock this to retrograde once I get it pulled over a little bit. That reaction wheel's helping some. I'm gonna pull it on over. Yeah, I'll lock on retrograde or prograde there. I'd like to get it a little more over. Alright, let's get on over a little more here. Let's go about right there. It's just not steep enough. We should already be way over here. If I can do a crew report. I've already done this one. Alright, let's lock this prograde. Just gonna watch my apoapsis. Gotta burn a little bit more. Get us up here to 75. Cutter engines. Can I do an EVA here? Yes, we can. EVA report. This is upper atmosphere. So we're going to store that one. Board back. That should, well, I think we have to do a spacewalk. So we have to be above above 70 to get the spacewalk. Sorry for the noise fumbling about. Just adjusting my mic there. Guess I could have been. Come on, space. Alright, there's the music. Indicates we're in space. Now before we get carried away, let's correct our orbit. So we need to go ahead and burn. I'm just going to lock this on prograde. and go full throttle. Starting to pull away from me, so I'll throttle down. We have to make sure we have enough fuel to deorbit. So I'm going to stop this right at 75. Not sure exactly how much I would need to deorbit. Just getting it back in. I got to be efficient because I don't want to get stuck up here. It's 475. Okay, that's good enough. Well, that's pretty good. 76 by 76. That is our best orbit yet. All right, do a little EVA, get that contract. EVA report. Now we're above water. You can actually do EVA reports above several different places here. So we'll store that, and then once we get over this land, we'll see what that is. Now the spacewalk, I think I've got to let go, don't I, for the contract? No, it's completed. Alright, we're over this land now. Let's see what our EVA report is. Over shores, we'll take that. Store it. And then that's probably board. Let's see where else might we be able to get something right quick while we're up here. Should be able to get over these mountains. And then the desert. And we should even be able to find grasslands. Well, let's time warp a little. Let's get over here and see if we get some mountain. Alright, let's see where we're at here. We may just barely miss it. Grasslands, we'll take that. Let's store that and see, did we get mountains? No. Alright, well, looks like we've missed mountains there. But we can catch them, I think, in here for sure. Let's speed up, get over there. Alright, EVA. See what we got. Highlands, we haven't got that one yet. Let's store it. And did we get mountains? No, highlands. It's just dark over here, I can't see. So we could turn some lights on. Grasslands. Where are those stinking mountains? Just look at my battery, make sure that light don't kill the battery off. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and time warp around to here. See if we can grab mountains and desert, and then we'll probably go ahead and deorbit. It's an interesting crater. It's probably a biome in itself right there. Wherever that crater is. Over Kerbin's water. For some reason we didn't have that one yet. Yeah, we did. So we need to dump that one. Let's do another EVA. Mountains, got it, okay. Let's store that, and let's get over to the desert. And then I'll be happy with that. We can deorbit and start wrapping things up. Highlands? I thought I had Highlands. Yep, I did. Dang it. Desert, there we go. Alright. Let's go home, shall we? Let's get ourselves into a retrograde position. We're in a low orbit, so it shouldn't take much. We have 350 delta V left. Should be enough to get us out of orbit. I hope so. Oh yeah. Drop this down to about 30. Let's see, what's that gonna do? Well, I guess I can just pull it on in. Try to catch this area. Yeah, let's try that. Alright, let's get closer to the atmosphere and we will separate. Let me turn this off. It's trying to go back to prograde or retrograde. And it should, so this piece also has the same trajectory, so if I separate, eventually it should go into the water there. Alright, let's speed up a little bit and get into the atmosphere. Once we start taking some heat, we'll turn off that SAS and let it just glide back in. Alright. Alright, aerodynamics, do your thing. This thing can really take a lot. See, we're coming in a little over 2,200 meters per second there. See if we're gonna kind of G-force limits we end up with. He's still in the green. So in our blackout, we have no comms. I guess that's that plasma blackout. Heat shield's holding pretty good. All right. I'll speed up just a little bit and we'll jettison that heat shield. Okay, jettison that one. Uh-oh. So we can roll out of this. There we go. Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay. And just go ahead and drop a little more before we do the parachutes. Come down over water. Alright. Deploy that chute. I just don't like to time warp past the chute deploying because I don't want something to mess up. And get down below. I think this can take 12 or 14 meters per second impact. So we're good. Jebediah should be getting some pretty good experience. We need to start flying the other pilots. Valentina. Try to get her leveled up some. Just in case something were to happen to Jebediah here, we want to make sure we have others on deck. Now we can do an EVA here in the water. Grab, no we can't. I guess, oh I did that one already. Duh. Okay. Recover, let's see what we get on science for this one. Ah shoot, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to test the stinking heat shield. I'm sure it didn't do it automatically. Nope. We have to do it on the next one. We got 45 science for that, just for doing the EVA reports. So, good deal. Yes, we forgot to do the heat shield test. Dang it. Oh, explore the moon's coming up. So there may be a couple of these we can do. But we do want to make sure this expires in 1 day, so I got to go ahead and grab that. Because we are going there soon. It says fly by the moon, gather scientific data from the moon, and return to Kerbin from a flyby of the moon. So this one, we'll have to do this one with a crew, but before we can do that, we need to get a probe out there. So, all right. Well, that's about gonna wrap it up for this episode. We didn't do our full science run, but there's going to be other trips into space. One thing I do want to do before we go correct something that we should have done on day 1 here. Let's get out here and fall down, maybe. Nope. Because we need to plant a flag. Plant flag. Kerbal. First of many flags to come. Alright. So that's going to do it for this episode. Let's do the spreadsheet while we're still here. So we just did a fly Kerbal high on Kerbin and an orbit. And we kind of did those at the same time. And that was on year 1, day 1, hour 5, minute 22. Did that, and we did our orbit. Year 1, day 1, hour 5, minute 22. Alright, we are slowly working our way down the list here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 checked off of the 50 point list. Still got a long way to go, but I don't know, maybe we'll get there. I'm going to try to get all these done. I've been watching some videos on Joule, and that's going to be an interesting I don't know why I'm trying to get back in this. I don't know if I have to. There's a lot of moons out there, and it's going to be a long haul to get to the system. But we'll see what we can do with it. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. And if you want to keep following me, if you want to keep watching my progress here, just don't forget to throw me a like and a subscribe. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.